What's up, YouTube? Team Sanity here, and today we have one of our team members, Richie. He's doing his Bluster Guardragon deck profile. All right, let's get into it.
A bit of Crusadia.
Bit of Crusadia.
Needle Fiber's not out yet. All right, so first off, we're gonna start off with 3 Dracos. Mainly for the since, as we said, Needle Fiber isn't out yet, I have to resort to using Crusadias. So I run 3 of these for the special and return effect. Next up, we're gonna go with 2 Crusadia Arborias. Once again, well, mainly for the special effect, you want to save Draco for when you have something like Spatha out on the field. So to get like your Spatha or your Draco to hand, you'd want to use her instead of Draco. Next, we run 3 Mathematicians. That's mainly for mill power, you know, in case you get Succession or Royal Legacy Guardragon in your hand, or if you want to mill something like a Glow Up Bulb to the grave. Next up, 1 Glow Up Bulb. His effect's pretty good. Use him for something like Link Rebo. Plus, if you get lucky, you get to mill one of your dragons to the graveyard. Or if I'm lucky, I get to mill memories. Next up, 2 Destrudos. He's just a good dragon special and an instant level 7. So if you want to run like the newer Quantum Dragon, there's your instant level 7. Just pay half your life points, target level 6 or lower, and you have your level 7. Synchro. Then, essential for this deck, on any Guardragon deck, Red Eyes Dark MD. He's a good soft once per turn because you can just mill him special, mill him special. He specials any dragon from the hand or graveyard. So, very essential for this deck. Next up, 2 Buster Whelps. He's mainly just for material, but if you don't run into any of your good plays, then this is how you would get either of your traps, prologue or memories. Next up, we also have Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Once again, just a level 4 lower dragon. Don't use his effect too often, but if I were to, he's a good special by being equipped to a Buster Blade or monster. So there's that. Next up, run 1 Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. Only one of, because that's all you really need. He's a free special if you have no monsters and he's in the graveyard. So level 4 dragon. Next up, 1 copy of Buster Blader. If you don't run into too many Guardragon plays, I guess he's a pretty good beat stick. Especially if you get Buster Dragon on the field, he'll be at a pretty high attack. Next up, 1 Buster Blader, the Destruction Sword Master. He's mainly more for material for prologue and memories. And 2 Ash Blossoms because, you know, it's just Ash Blossom. That's it for the monsters. Next up, we have spells. Running 3 World Legacy Guardragons. This card, I personally prefer 3 of. Although it is a once per turn activation, you can use it to either add to hand or special a level 4 or lower dragon monster from your grave. And you can target any dragon monster on the field and move it to a different main monster point, which is actually really powerful if you think about it. Because, you know, with the Guardragon, say you need 2 or more Link monsters to be pointing at the same point. So if you run into trouble with that, you can use this to move Elfie or whatever. Alright, next up, we have 2 World Legacy Successions. Free special of any monster from the grave to point your link monster points to. This is just good for specialing from the grave in case you run into any kind of stops.
What do you run 2?
Why?
Why not 1?
Why not 1? Well, considering how big and bulky the deck is, there's a possibility you might not even run into Royal Legacy Guardragon, or if you can't get Red Eyes MD out, then this is just mainly for specialing. Alright, next up, 2 Dragon Shrine. This is actually pretty good, although it is a once per turn effect. Send any dragon type monster to the graveyard. Now, I don't run any of the other guard dragons or the normal guard dragon, so not going to be too worried about sending 2 by its effect. But this is really good because you can send your dragon to the graveyard and then revive it with any other special effect in the deck. Next up, 1 Monster Reborn. That's just for specialing. 1 for 1. That's mainly to get the Buster Whelp or the Destruction Sword, or if you need Glow Up Bulb. Foolish Burial, mill any dragon to the grave, any monster you would need, whether it be a Buster Blader monster or a dragon monster. 1 Raigeki, you know, in case your opponent has a troublesome board.
Why not side that card?
Why not sided?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not sure. I just was like, I'm not gonna get a 3rd succession. That would be a little too cloggy just in case, so didn't want to clog up the deck, so I just decided to use Raigeki. And 2 Call by the Grave, you know, just for hand traps and stuff like that. Alright, next up for the traps, which are not good. We're gonna run 3 Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. This summons out your Buster Dragon, which in mirror matches that would be kind of troublesome because your opponent's monsters would be dragon types and they'd be able to get off plays, which I did run into since we were at YCS today. But in addition to special summoning your Buster Dragon, you get to mill any Destruction Sword card and Buster Blader monster. So say mill Memories and a Buster Blader monster. And since you already have a bunch of dragons in the deck, that's your instant Buster Blader fusion, which it then becomes their downfall because all their dragon type monsters cannot activate their effects. And they go into defense, and he gains 1,000 for all of them, and he does piercing.
Pretty good.
Pretty decent. And last for the traps, 3 Memories. You know, just in case I don't get any of my guard dragons. Set it, activate its effect, discard a Destruction Sword card, special summon Buster Blader, and then its effect in the grave, banish it along with the materials to go for the fusion, and there you go. Alright, now for extra deck. We go with Link Karibo for level 1s, and in case I can't use Spatha, I can always use Link Karibo since he points down. Use something like World Legacy Guardragon, move Elfie to a different point, and you have your 2 points. We won 1 of each guard dragon. Elfie, Pitsy, Agripane. Elfie to special Red Eyes MD from deck or hand, if he ever gets in your hand. Pitsy to special summon Red Eyes MD from grave or banished in case they try to call by him. Well, although you couldn't use his effect, but you can grab any other dragon you would need. And Agripane, that's for your extra deck monster. And just remember, because this has happened to me today, you can only special summon them once per turn.
So what was that incident that specials once per turn?
Well, he already special summoned Agripane.
Oh, so your opponent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't use his effect, so he winked it away and then tried to re-special it, and we had to, that sorted out. So 1 of each of those, that's really all you're going to need. For the Crusader side, I use 1 Magius and 1 Spatha. Magius, just to get really Draco to my hand when an effect monster is special summoned to his point, and Spatha, when an effect monster is special summoned to her point, you can move any monster. You would really use that to move Elfie or Pitsy. Next up for generics, Borload and Bull Sword. You know, I don't really need a description. They're just Borload and Bull Sword.
Broken.
I believe it's a must, and pretty sure you believe it's a must too. At least one Saryuja.
Yeah.
You know, gets that +4. It's actually pretty easy to summon him, and I know for you, it's really easy to summon 2 of them. So, yeah. And you get a special with him. 1 Cyber's Quantum Dragon. You know, you have your few tuners, the Buster Whelps, the Crusadia Arborea, which I said it would actually be easier with Destrudo to summon him because that's an instant level 7, since it takes levels off of Destrudo. So, plus his effect is actually really good while you control a Link monster. Your opponent cannot target Link monsters for, well, any monster for attacks or card effects except this one while you control that Link monster. And once per battle phase, if he battles, you can bounce back a card that battled it, and he gets a second attack. So that's actually really decent. Next, 2 Buster Dragons. This is for your prologues, and with his effect, you make all your opponent's monsters into dragon types, and you know that combos in with the fusion and his effect, which I haven't yet to do it, but it would be really good. Like how some people run the pendulum monster that doesn't allow special summons after he's summoned. Once per your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target a Buster Blade or monster you control and equip a Destruction Sword card from your graveyard to that monster. And if you equip the Destruction Sword, then your opponent cannot special summon from the extra deck. So that's pretty decent. Alright. 2 Buster Blade, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. As I mentioned earlier, he stops all Dragon's effects. He combos in with Buster Dragon. He gains 1,000 for all the dragons on the field. Well, your opponent's dragons on the field and graveyards. And he switches all dragons your opponent controls on the field to defense, and he can do piercing. But he cannot attack directly.
So did this come up at all during the YCS or during any of your matches?
Oh yeah, at least once.
So what was the thing happening? Like, how did it help you out, or what's the highest attack you got to?
Highest attack today, he got up to 11,800, and I just smacked his Saryuja for game. He already paid half his life points with Destrudo. No, I expected some mirror matches, so although Buster Dragon did help my opponent because all his monsters were dragons, which he was using the Crusadia Dragon, Guardragon build, and he couldn't really do anything with the Magius and the Beast Guardragon. I mean, not Guardragon, Crusadia. But Buster Dragon did help him out to bring out his Guardragons. But this was his downfall. And last but not least, 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. That's your free negate. He negates any card once per turn during either player's turn. And yeah, he's a free special with Agripane. So that's it for extra deck, and I'm gonna just show you one of the best boards I've had today. So usually it would look something like, well, I'll show you how to do it, but usually it would look something like Saryuja, then below Saryuja, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, then Borload, the fusion of Buster Blader, and Buster Dragon.
So why Borreload over Borrow's sword?
Well, not really a preference. Well, he can't be targeted by monsters' effects, just in case you run into something like that. You know, in case you run into like, let's say, what do they call Altergeist? What's its name? Soliloquy. He bounces a card they control and then bounces one of your cards. Couldn't be targeted by that because neither player can target it with monster effects. Plus, with World Legacy Guardragon, say you can move him over to here and you can have an extra point. So you'd have 3 extra monster spaces with YUGIOH. So say your board could look like that, and then you'd have an extra monster space. However, you'd be able to make that work. So it's like one of the best boards I've had. And I'd say one of the best hands would probably be a Prologue, a Succession, a World Legacy Guardragon. Let's see what else. A Arborea and a Draco.
So it's like a guaranteed that board for that hand?
Oh yeah, that's guaranteed right there. And it doesn't even have to be these cards. But I'm just random, so I'll say normal Draco, Link for, where are you at? Magius. Use Arborea's effect to special. Magius's effect, grabbing another Draco, since you haven't used his effect yet. Link those two for Spatha. Then use the Draco you just added, or you don't even have to do that. You could either use World Legacy Succession or World Legacy Guardragon. Let's say use Succession, special Draco, Link for Elfie, Spatha's effect, move Elfie over there, use Elfie's effect, grabbing your Red Eyes MD, use MD's effect, special your Draco from Grave, while still having one in hand just in case. Link 4.
Easy start usually?
Easy start usually.
And then you just go off from there after the draws?
You have your Draco special in hand, you have a World Legacy Guardragon, and once you get your board set, which this deck is really good for going first. I know a lot of Guardragon builds are good for going first. You just set Prologue, wait for your opponent's turn, activate it, especially your Bluster Dragon, and since you have so many dragons in the grave, you can also use them to banish for the fusion. So, yeah.
Can we say your side deck?
My side deck? Right. For YCS today, I side decked 3 red reboots for, I already knew I was going to run into Altergeist.
Oh, these are different colored sleeves because these were borrowed?
Yeah, these were all borrowed. Earlier, I had them all in the same colored sleeve. Also for Altergeist, your Sky Striker Twin Twister. For any troublesome board, at least 1 interrupted kaiju slumbers and 2 random kaijus.
Would you have bumped up the kaiju count, or was it just fine for you?
It was just fine for me.
All right.
Knowing that I was gonna be seeing some other Guard Dragons, I decided to sided 3 Ghost Winters and Ghost Reapers and Winter Cherries, which was sad that I did for 1 match because I ended up drawing all 3 of them first hand. 2 Effect Veilers. I stopped some other Guard Dragon using these by Effect Veiler his Spatha. And 2 Pringatops because it's a free special if your opponent controls more monsters, and he's a free pop.
All right. Well, is there anything you would change about this deck, or just keep it the same?
For now, I'd probably keep it the same. but for future references, say if Needle Fiber actually comes out, I'd probably try it out with that. So yeah, here's my Bluster Blader Guardragons.
Alright guys, like, subscribe, and comment. Turn on notifications, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace!